mavizo aka wavalumelesa shangwe mavizo aka kina sitali mukubesa yate livizo la indona inete mwakuta ya saa mo shangwe
lakini abatuke lisuro indua na muyamba isineke ngambera siku kisha mma ya welcome
ndakaya is my name induna katema inde ngambera skuta yo
Wali mshalala simoshi induna monda ngambera skuta
Ngasi yanga induna na monda ngambera skuta
Mumbana. Welcome. I'm Tungumbe, Tunguna Mari.
India kunoro induna kombe induna mwaiva na mafuta ya inete mo
lakina mjia makambo
I think our side is over. Maybe let me throw back the ball into your court.
Lakina South River Squatter ni chairman wa Tonse Woza Famosi Alliance. Kile nivo president wa Valuna, o presidential candidate wa Tonse Famosi Alliance, wo Brian Mundubile. After kile nivo vice president Mundubile Makebi Zulu. Kulikuwako mwenzi nivo president Kacheka, Shala Kacheka, nivo president wa New Heritage Party, Baba Sebeza Mongoni, niva Tonse Famosi Alliance. Kulikuwako mwenzi nivo president Nawa nivo president Bishop Trevor Mongoni. Ape wenzi ni ma officials baba za kwa Tonse pamoja ngego bino mfumu yape ni bwana kwa president ba Chabai. Mbona baenzi mwa Tonse Famosi Alliance. Mbona ma presidents go to anyone. Mwenyika kuzawo President Charles
Thank you very much, Vice President, for the warm welcome. I should also apologize for the delayed entrance. We had promised our people in Barotseland that we'll be back soon after our visit. We, of course, did not make it back due to certain challenges. And I'm sure now that we are back, many of our people are eager to say hello. I'm happy that the situation is now under control. Right, Honorable, please allow me to refer to my notes as I... Thank you, Right Honorable Manyando Mukela, the Gambela Barotseland, and the members of the Kuta for the warm reception and the courtesies extended to my delegation. My delegation as introduced by the chairperson of Donse. The Right Honorable Gambela, once again thank you for receiving me and my delegation. We were here a few months ago to share our intentions to contest the Republican presidency in the forthcoming general election on August 18, 2026. At that point, my running mate and I came as individual candidates. Having listened carefully to your counsel and that of many stakeholders calling for position unity, we are here today as a formidable team comprising more than 30 political parties and civil society organizations. The open door policy of the Barotseland establishment
background noise. Anyway, you can go ahead.
Thank you. The open door policy of the Barotseland establishment is not just a tradition. It is fundamental and critical for our young democracy. On behalf of my delegation, I most sincerely thank you, sir, for giving us the opportunity to share with you and the Kuta our transformative agenda, an agenda designed to address the many challenges that continue to weigh heavily on our communities, challenges that are felt deeply here in Barotseland and across Zambia as a whole. It is our firm belief that as Tonse Kamozi Alliance, we have what it takes to turn these challenges into better opportunities for growth, unity, and progress. Barotseland question is the first on submission. We recognize that the Barotseland Agreement 1964 remains a long-standing historical national question. If left unresolved, it will continue to affect our national unity and weigh in on our conscience as a nation. When elected as president of this country, my administration commits to genuine dialogue with Barotseland establishment. The engagement to be conducted within a mutually agreed framework of rules will resolve this matter with dignity, fairness, and with the spirit of one Zambia, one nation. As part of my commitment to upholding constitutional freedoms, the discussion of the Barotseland Agreement 1964 will be decriminalized. No citizen shall be arrested solely for discussing the Barotseland question. I'm aware that under traditional governance, all Silalo Indunas, such as Nawasilundu, Nalumutu, Bivumbu, Kabila Mwandi, Namutwi, Mundale, Nalonge, Litungu, Litungi, sorry about that, sorry. Ishe Wambutu and others are treated as ordinary Nduna, yet they are classified as chiefs on government national registration cards. My government will correct this inconsistency by offering the BRE formal recognition of these Silalo Ndunas as chiefs within the BRE structure, so that they may equally benefit from government support provided to chiefs elsewhere. The Right Honorable, on poverty and underdevelopment, Western Province, the Barotseland has consistently recorded the highest levels of poverty and the lowest levels of development in Zambia. This is reflected in data from GRZ and major development partners including the IMF, World Bank, USA, Irish Aid, UK Aid, among others. The prevailing conditions are linked to prolonged marginalization and underinvestment by successive governments, including the outgoing UPND administration. To date, there has been limited evidence of targeted policy interventions and sustained political commitment aimed at addressing the structural causes of poverty in the province. As Tonse Pamosi Alliance, Right Honorable Ngambela and members of the Kuta, we fully recognize that poverty in Barotseland is driven by systemic infrastructure and service gaps, which include but not limited to the following. Number one, poor road network, that is to refer to inter-district and feeder roads, and weak communication infrastructure, resulting in isolation and poor connectivity. Two is unreliable access to energy and electricity. Three is a poorly maintained and congested canal network. Four, very high youth unemployment. Five is a decline of livestock sector due to persistent disease outbreaks. Seven, inadequate healthcare services marked by long distances to facilities and acute shortages of essential medicines and limited drug availability. And lastly, the elevated maternal mortality rates. These conditions collectively entrench poverty across Barotseland. Our overall approach, Right Honorable, we will back our commitment with action through a dedicated Marshall Plan for the province, which will be shaped by broad consultations with the BRE, religious leaders, civil society, and government institutions. This approach, Right Honorable Ngambela and the Kuta, departs from years of empty political promises, including those of the outgoing UPND government. In social services, Right Honorable, we are looking at healthcare in Western Province. People of Western Province are struggling with a poor healthcare system. Health centers are too far away. Medicines often run out, and then there aren't enough trained medical personnel such as doctors, nurses, clinical officers, and so on. When patients need to be fed, the process is poor and there is no emergency evacuation of patients. Most hospitals and clinics do not have equipment for X-ray, CT scans, or labs to help with the diagnosis. At the top of our government agenda, is fixing our referral hospital problem. Lewanika General Hospital is in bad condition. Our plan is to build a brand new provincial referral hospital for Western Province that is properly equipped with drugs and has enough qualified specialists to save our people. We are also going to build more clinics and finish in the new district hospitals in the district. And let me emphasize, Right Honorable, that our maternal health commitment is that no woman should lose her life while giving birth. And this is non-negotiable. Right Honorable Mundubile and the Kuta, on education, Western Province continues to record the lowest national performance in grade 9 and 12 examinations, despite its historical role as a pioneer of formal education in Zambia. The poor outcomes are attributed to several structural challenges, such as high level of community poverty, inadequate government investment in education, long distances of schools, very high teacher-pupil ratios, inadequate school infrastructure, and overcrowding, among others. I'm fully aware, just as much as the Kuta is, of the fact that rural hardships also discourage qualified teachers from taking up posts in the remote areas, compounding the problem. The province has not got enough boarding schools. Learners from distant rural areas rely on private weekly boarding facilities without guardians, which has now contributed to poor academic performance and high rates of teenage pregnancies. To restore higher education standards and performance in the province, our government to prioritize increased budgetary allocation to the education sector. We will address poverty and its impacts on learning and invest in supporting infrastructure such as feeder roads. Our plan also includes recruiting more teachers, introducing attractive rural hardship allowances, constructing additional classrooms and staff houses, and expanding the benefits of free education policy to more learners. The construction of King Lewanika University, which was initiated by the PF administration, has remained stalled at the stage it was left. Although the UPND government pledged to complete the university within its first term, no progress has been made in about 5 years. When we assume office, the completion and official commissioning of this university will be among our top priorities for the province, and we will ensure that it becomes operational without further delay. On crop and agriculture, to assist subsistence farmers, we see them. They need our community. We will support them by making sure farming inputs are delivered on time, so that every home can have enough food to feed themselves. We also launched a special initiative for rice farmers. Demand for rice, Mongo rice as such, keeps going up. And instead of importing so much, we'll grow more rice here and protect our local farmers. We will also ensure timely procurement of crops from our farmers at fair and economically viable prices. On livestock, the Right Honorable and the Kuta, at independence, Barotseland is believed to have had larger cattle population than Botswana. Today, the sector remains constrained by a heavy disease burden, particularly foot and mouth disease, FMD, anthrax, and contagious bovine CBPP. Yes. The CBPP has driven high cattle mortality rates, eroding household assets, and deepening poverty in the province. As a result, a ban on cattle movement from Barotseland to the line of rail, where markets are competitive, has been in place for nearly 30 years. Veterinary extension services are grossly inadequate relative to the scale of needs. Additionally, the porous international borders with Angola continues to facilitate the spread of animal diseases into the province. When you put us in office during the forthcoming general election, we will immediately commence a 3-year program of mass vaccination and disease monitoring across the province. We will do this consistently until we get CBPP, FMB, anthrax and other cattle diseases under control. Once we succeed, we shall then immediately lift the current ban on moving cattle out of the province after 3 years, so that our farmers can access better markets again. Disease control is also very key to this province to participate in beef exports. This goal is achievable with 4 key enablers, which are adequate budgetary support, a motivated workforce, the operationalization of the regional laboratory in Mongu, and indeed, political commitment. On other industries like mango processing, right honorable, Barotse is endowed with millions of mango trees across Lukulu, Limulunga, Kalabo, Moyo, Senanga, Sioma, Sesheke, and Mwandi districts, forming a natural mango belt. When we form government, we'll set up processing plants under the IDC right here in Mongu. That means jobs for our young people and real income for communities for fruits that are currently going to waste. You're right, Honorable. Our central message is poverty reduction through industrialization. So when we refer to the mango processing, it's part of the broad agenda of industrialization for job creation. So for Barotse, we've identified mango processing as one area where we could industrialize and make use of the mango belt to supply the raw material to these particular industries, thereby creating employment. On infrastructure development, our government will be committed to accelerating infrastructure development across Barotseland. We will finish all stalled construction projects in new districts. Roads will be our big focus. We will prioritize Sesheke to Kazungula, Kalabo to Congo, Kalongola to Kalabo, Katunda through Lukuru to Watopa, Kaoma to Kasempa, Kaoma through Luampa to Simungoma, plus key feeder roads in our communities. We will also dredge and clear water canals in the floodplains so that our people can move and farm more easily. Right, Honorable, on forest management, traditional leaders and the communities have protected our forests for generations, but they've seen very little benefit. We will change this. Our government will give the traditional leadership a greater role in the management of these forests and concessions so that the wealth from our forests goes directly to the people who safeguard it. Right, Honorable, this is the commitment that we've made even to areas where there are mining activities going on. We believe that the traditional leadership, the chieftain, must have a role. They must have some clear benefits to them coming from royalties that are coming from the resources that are in the area. So when we talk about forest management, it falls within that category. It's an agenda that we have embarked on to ensure that development is also brought at chiefdom level. Because when the Royal Highnesses get royalties from these natural resources, there's some level of development that will happen at chief level. For instance, we are just talking about health facilities in healthcare. In many cases, we find that the distances to health facilities are far. If there was a fair reward to the chiefdoms for the resources that are extracted from their area, I'm sure some of these health facilities will be constructed under the initiative of the chiefdoms. Also, the Right Honorable Gambela and the Kuta, we know that government spent colossal sums of money doing a mineral survey countrywide. The commencement of that exercise was tabled on the floor of the House, and as members of Parliament we debated and were eager to receive the report. Our view was that if the results were made public, it will make it easy for traditional leaders and the citizens in general residing in various parts of the country to know what is there. We also knew that once that information is available, provinces and areas will begin to make plans to attract investments in those particular areas. But to date, we have not received the results of that particular survey. Our government will commit to publish the results of this particular survey so that traditional leaders and people living in those areas become fully aware of the wealth that is endowed in a particular area. This, we believe, will immediately change the profile of various provinces and indeed the investment portfolio of many investors completely change for many of these provinces. So that's a commitment that we make, Right Honourable. But these results we made public, and we feel that the Royal Highnesses need a share. They need to participate in benefiting from the resources that are in the areas. So, in conclusion, Your Right Honourable Ngambela, I extend my sincere gratitude to the Ngambela and the Futa for the audience and for the opportunity to share our vision and message of hope for Barotseland. Let me assure you that this is not mere political rhetoric. This is different. We come with genuine intent for Barotseland and for Zambia as a whole. We mean well, and it is for this reason that we seek your support. I used to submit. Thank you very much.
Together with your delegation, on behalf of the Kuta, we want to restate our welcome to you and your team. We are impressed by the program that we set up for your planned government. We are also actually interested in realizing that your alliance, your party, or you yourself as an individual are aware of the fact that Barotseland is poverty, and that this poverty is a result of a number of factors. So we feel quite marginalized and we just try to solve because it is evident everywhere. Our road network is very poor. Success of the government really didn't seem to take charge of this aspect of development in this region. Our educational system has gone down. You know, it has gone down from the top at the time of independence to the bottom in 2026 and the years just before. We are embarrassed by this situation, and we call upon all governments really that come, including the one that will come post August 15, 2026, that something must be done, and we are in a hurry to catch up in terms of development with other provinces. We are also interested to note that you are aware that the question of the Barotseland agreement is a matter that should be put on the table and be discussed. so that it doesn't create unnecessary friction between this region and the rest of the country. Because we think, and we hope others also do understand that people don't understand what the Barotseland agreement was meant to be, because now it has become a matter of criminal offense. Talking about it, even suggesting anything about it. So hearing that we want to really raise the matter officially gives us hope and gives us courage. Honorable Mundubile, as presidential candidate, we are a recruiter expecting to see more from the government that will be ushered in. So maybe let me make a very humble request, but a very emphatic one, that we be availed a copy of that speech that we read on the cooker today, so that we study the programs that we are planning for the new government. That's done. I think now we are ready. That said, we are ready now to go to meet His Majesty.